Hello, in this video I'm going to teach you how to create a form for you to put all your macros in Excel. I'll show you mine. It looks like this. You can see that I have several macros that I use frequently, and they're all laid out in a way that it's easy for me to see what they are, to categorize them however I want, and to be able to change them. I can also put additional information on the side. This is a convenient way of doing this, and I'm going to teach you how to do this right now. So we close this, and I'm going to close this so that you don't see it. We're going to create a new book. I press Control N, it's a bit faster, and we're going to save it in the desktop, and we're going to call it something along the lines of macros for me. Alrighty, so we go right ahead and go into the Developer tab, and we check Visual Basic. If you don't have the Developer tab, it's in here in the options. Show Developer tab in the ribbon. So just go ahead and enable that, and then you'll have this. Anyway, click on Visual Basic. That brings this up. What we're going to do is right-click on the workbook, anywhere, it doesn't really matter where, and then say Insert, User Form. And here's the user form. You can change the name and the color and everything, but that's another video for now. Let's just drop a command button. It's this button right here. That's a button. We can change the name of it by either clicking on it when it's already selected. So you click on it once to select it, and you click on it again, and now I can change the name. Or you can select it and then press F4 to see the properties. That brings up the properties. And then here you find where it says caption. Caption is basically what it says here. And you can change it to whatever. I'm going to change it to macro 1, for example. Alright, to edit this macro, we can create some code inside of it, and you do that by double clicking on it. And now I'm creating an action for the click of this. And I'm just going to write something simple here. Message box. Hello world. Whoop. There you go. Something along those lines. And then, well, we can see that this works by clicking on User Form 1, selecting the form itself, and then pressing F5 or Run right from here. And you see that the user form pops up exactly the way it's supposed to with the macro button. You push the button, and a message box comes up and says Hello World. So that works. Now we need to create a way for this to be accessible through Excel. So in order to do that, we need to create a macro to show this form. So what you want to do is you right click again, say Insert, say Module, Sub, I'll just call it a show menu, something along those lines. And then here all I have to do is say user form 1 dot show. User form 1 is the name of my form. You can see it right here. You can change that as well, but for now let's leave it as a default. So now running this macro, if I again run it from here, you see that it brings it up in Excel. So now we have a macro that shows us our form, and we can do, so what we need to do is we need to bring this macro into Excel. We can do that in two ways. We can either put it right here in our quick launch bar with all these little funny buttons. You might have it above the ribbon. In any event, you right click anywhere on it and you say create quick access toolbar, customize quick access toolbar, I'm sorry. Change the commands from popular commands to macros, and there you go. There you see it, a show menu. So now I add that there, and then I press OK, and now you'll see that I have a button here that, well, this is the default one. You can also change that, but if I press this button, the form comes up and the macro works the way it's supposed to. There's also, I like using shortcuts, so in order to enable this macro menu from a shortcut, what you need to do is go to Developer again, go to Macros, from Excel, go to Macros, select this specific macro, the one that shows the menu, and then say edit. That's not true, that's a lie what I just told you. Say options. There you go. And this funny thing comes up. I like, for example, Control-Shift-T. In order to do Control-Shift-T, you only have to press Shift and T. You don't have to press Control-Shift-T. And say OK. And then cancel. And now as soon as I press Control and Shift and T, my macro menu shows up the way that it's supposed to. You'll notice there's one annoying thing, that after running the macro, the form stays up. This might be convenient for repeated operations, but for the most part, for most of the macros, you just want it to do an action and you want to forget about this screen immediately. So in order to do that, we modify this specific macro to hide the user form as soon as the macro is run. So after running all my code, right, there's other code here. You write all your macro, blah, 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 blah. And then at the very end, you simply say user form one.hide. Right? So then as soon as you select this specific macro from here, it's going to run the code and then it's going to hide it. Let's go ahead and test that. If this works correctly, then as soon as I press this button and the macro runs, it should hide this specific form. And it did. So that's about it. Thank you for watching, and I shall be posting more. Be well.